The unfolding developments in the governing All Progressives Congress as follows. The National Working Committee of the party met behind closed doors, after which the Deputy National Chairman, North, Abubakar Kyari, who presided, announced that the party's National Chairman and the National Secretary have resigned. Abubakar Kyari emerged as the Acting National Chairman and Festus Fuente as Acting National Secretary. As senior Arise correspondent Indi Amugo reports, the meetings of the party's National Caucus and Executive Committee slated to start on Tuesday have now been postponed.
The NWC wishes to inform you the resignation of the National Chairman, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, CON, and that of the National Secretary, Senator Yola Omishore.
That's the acting national chairman of the APC, Senator Abubakar Kyari, announcing the resignation of the national chairman of the party, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, and the national secretary, Yola Omishore.
The proposed National Caucus meeting slated for Tuesday, the 18th, July 2023, and the National Executive Committee meeting of the All Progressive Congress slated for Wednesday, 19th July 2023, has hereby been postponed.
Adamu is said to have resigned following allegations of high-handedness and not being a team player, including alleged misdemeanors against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, one of which is his attempt to unilaterally foist on the party the then Senate President, Ahmad Lawan, as a consensus candidate of the party's 2022 presidential primaries. It took the intervention of the entire members of the National Working Committee of the party to stop Adamu from achieving his aim. Before then, Adamu had threatened to discipline Tinubu after his famed Emiloko outburst in Abeokuta, Ogun State. And most recently, Adamu raised his voice against the choice of the party for the President of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, who were termed to be Tinubu's choices. Not only that, at the very recent NWC meeting, he said the selection of the principal officers of the NASC was a mere rumor.
The national headquarters of the party, Working Committee, has not given any such information or communicated anything about the choice of the remaining offices.
Aside all this, there was the rift between both Adamu and the National Secretary of the party, Yola Omishore on the one hand, and the National Vice Chairman Northwest, Salihu Lukman, who accused both of non-accountability on the party's finances and running the affairs of the APC without regard to the party's constitution.
Today, I challenge both the National Chairman and the National Secretary. They have never presented to NWC any financial statement.
The Deputy National Organizing Secretary of the party, Chidi Okechukwu, explains the latest developments in the APC.
The process that led to the emergence of distinguished Senator Abubakar Kyari and Festus Afantao as chairman, acting chairman, and acting secretary respectively was not only seamless, but had the support of the various caucuses and organs of the party.
Now that the APC National Caucus and NEC meetings have been put on hold for the second time, party members and Nigerians will be pondering on the future of the governing party due to its leadership inconsistencies in the last couple of years. Ndi Amugo, Arise News.
Joining us now from Abuja studio to discuss the developments in the ruling All Progressives Congress is Osita Okechukwu, APC Chieftain and Director General, Voice of Nigeria. Good morning, Chief Osita Okechukwu. Thank you for joining us on the morning show.
Good morning, Dr. Ruby. Good morning, Sister Ayo. And good morning, Incisive Rufai.
Morning, Ogami. Morning, Ogami. How are you?
Very quickly, what is going on in your party from your own perspective? Yesterday, we had Honorable Bernard Miko on this program, and he was almost jubilant that the party chairman had been asked to resign on the orders of the president, and that he was living also with Senator Iyola Omishuri. And by the end of yesterday, that was further concretely confirmed with the emergence of others now at the helm of affairs in that party, namely the positions previously occupied by Senator Adamu and Senator Omishuri. But do you share the same feeling with Honorable Bernard Miko? Are you also of the view that this is good for the party and that is good riddance, to put that in quotes?
I wouldn't come that way. Rather, I would say that what happened is in line with the political culture of the Nigerian state since we returned to democracy in the 1999. It had been one change or the other after each election. I remember vividly how the late Solomon Dashupla was also replaced after the 1999 presidential election. Subsequently, that had been the political culture. And it tallies with the constitution of the APC, that our slogan is change. Anything that could lead to better organization of the party to serve the Nigerian people is a welcome development. And I'm also happy with distinguished Senator Adamu and Omishore that they resigned on their own. They did not gone to witness a time when it was at gunpoint that a sitting president forced a sitting chairman to vacate office. So we didn't come to that level. So I think that it is a lead way to prepare the rejig of the APC to meet up with the provisions of our constitution and the aims and objective, one of which in Article 7, subsection 8, talks of internal democracy, talks of promotion of consciousness and support of government for good governance of the Nigerian people. So I think that President Ahmed Bola Tinubu requires hands-on on the alignment with the party leadership to achieve his vision for the good people of our great country. So I do not see it as anything that anybody could say, I'm happy that this man left. Yes, like all of us, there were some unforced error on the part of the former chairman. For instance, he led the National Reconciliation Committee of the party, upon which base his contenders, like Senator Amakora, who actually represented the CPC fulcrum of the party then, was told to please bear with us. We want him to use his understanding of the reconciliation after crisscrossing the whole country to reconcile the party. And the then chairman never did that. When he became chairman, he dropped all the fine ingredients that could have helped to reorganize the party at the sub-units. I think we still need that reconciliation before the national convention that might follow.
All right. Okechukwu, thank you very much. I'd like you to just share with us, I don't know if you've seen the contents of the resignation letters from Senator Adamu and Senator Omishuri with regards to perhaps reasons they've given for their resignation. Of course, there have been a number of speculations, analysis here and there with regards to perhaps the president himself directing that the governors work against them because he doesn't align with the president's vision, or he had supported someone else for the presidential flag bearer of the APC. Others have also said it's under the, or is from an allegation of misappropriation of funds. Talk about the monies raised from sale of forms during the elections, and so some form of misappropriation there. What is the reason stated for their exit? And then following that, this CPC, ACN faction in the party, some people belonging to a particular faction or the other. What's your statement on that? What's your take on that?
I do not know about Mr. President's connection, but if you go through Article 21 of the Constitution of the APC, you will go through to see what constitutes an offense: breach of the APC Constitution, misinformation, causing issues that might bring the APC to ridicule or contempt, and others. And when you look at all of them, the most important thing I could ink is that the same constitution says that each organ of the party has the powers to discipline any official. And I did not see anybody saying that President Bola Tinubu wrote a letter or directing them to resign. I know it is within the confines, the National Working Committee, to tell Mr. Chairman, as have been highlighted by the National Vice Chairman of the Northwest, Comrade Lukman. So let us not extend this matter that Mr. President is using the big stick. I don't see that in the whole choreograph. I could see that there was rumbling within the National Working Committee, and it's the same National Working Committee that resolved their matter. So anybody calling Mr. President, though I have not met Mr. President since then, to be in a position to know his position, but all I know is that within the confines of the Constitution of the APC, each organ of the party had the powers to discipline any member, whether chairman, secretary, or otherwise, and that there have been rumblings, as I said, some enforced errors. But that does not mean that that constitution did not give Mr. President any power to discipline any official. Rather, it gave to the members and the organs of each of the executive ranks.
Okay. So let me dig deep into that talk about various factions in your party. You have said hitherto you are from the CPC faction. What would you say about the allegations of ethnic cleansing that the ACN faction is now doing to the CPC faction? Because when President Muhammadu Buhari was there, the CPC faction reigned supreme. A lot of the positions and everything went to the CPC faction. But now, there's sort of like an ethnic cleansing that is happening to the hitherto CPC faction. What do you feel about this?
I'm not subscribing to your position, Isasi Verify. You need to do further research on this matter as a colleague. One, Senator Abdullahi Adamu was never a Buharist on the CPC. Rather, in 007 presidential election, as governor under the PDP platform in Nasarawa State, he denied us opportunity to use the Nasarawa Stadium. We went to a secondary school to host a national rally in Nasarawa State. So he had never been. Rather, it was Al-Makura, Senator Al-Makura, that he was contesting with, that was a member and a very senior one of the CPC, and the only governor then of the CPC, and a Buharist. But he was dropped because some other people who were banding, spin some allegations, said that he was supporting Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the presidential primaries, and therefore he should not be the chairman because he's bent to support Tinubu. So Adamu was never there. As I told you earlier, The capital he had then was that there were arguments in his favor that he headed the National Reconciliation Committee, and that if you make him a chairman, in becoming the chairman of the party, then he will look into those state chapters that are embroiled in crisis that nearly brought us to our knees. So, to start with, the foundation chairman of the APC in 2013 is Pakonde. Pakonde is not a CPC. He was followed by Oyegu. Oyegu was not CPC. Rather, Oyegu was AMPP. We left AMPP to form the CPC. Then Senator Adams Oshimole. It was not CPC. And then you came to Mala Buni. Yes, AMPP, defunct AMPP, but not entirely CPC. So I don't see anything like ethnic cleansing.
But sir,
unless
sir,
I have further analysis on that.
So let me give you the further analysis. That's the position of many members that we have spoken to as we speak today. That it is payback time for the certain CPC-leaning people that before now, that the bulk of the CPC guys held sway. But now they feel disgruntled. In fact, they've even narrowed the conversation down to the Lagos conversation. That the president is moving a lot of his Lagos arsenal into strategic positions to be able to consolidate and hold and take hold of the party. That's the sentiment being peddled in your party. I'm telling you, in case you're not aware, that's the sentiment, sir.
No, if it's a sentiment, but I'm trying to tell you that I am a foundation member from day one of the CPC. And I'm telling you that the 1,200 plus votes that President Tinubu garnered at Eagle Square was made up mostly. El-Rufai, who is he? CPC. Even those who are not entirely CPC but are AMPP, those from the Borno axis, each time they voted for Buhari. 2003, 2007, 2011, 2015, 2019. So the Tinubu couldn't have won the primaries without the CPC MPP faction.
Okay, Chief
so please
Okechukwu.
let nobody bandy any lies.
No, Chief Okechukwu.
Either to create unnecessary schism.
Chief Okechukwu, the matter is simple.
Yes, please.
The matter is very simple.
I'm not a chief. He's a,
Simply Mr.
Osita Okechukwu, please.
Oh, okay, Mr. Okechukwu. Okay,
Yes,
but about time you got one of these titles now. Some title.
Buy me cows and give me a trailer load of rice.
Well, yeah, the cost of rice has gone up now. Anyway, quickly, the issue is this. Senator Adamu may have been PDP, but he came into APC. When he became chairman of the party in 2022, he was anointed by President Buhari. And, in terms of behavior, in terms of orientation, it looked like he was taking his directives directly from the president. And he himself confessed with his own mouth that he never wanted President Tinubu, who is there now, that he worked for Ahmad Lawan. And everybody knew at the time that Ahmad Lawan was, chosen, anointed also for that position by the president. So that's the narrative out there. You may say you know something different. But what I want to ask you is probably unrelated. In the story I read on this crisis within the APC this morning, Osita Chidoka, who is a PDP chieftain, was quoted as saying that if you look at the top 6 position in your party, that there is nobody from the Southeast there. Okay, I was a bit worried that, okay, what is Osita Chidoka's matter with APC? They are quarreling in the next compound. You are carrying your own pesu from your own compound and going to say, I want to be part of this fight. But at least he has made a point. And he provided the evidence according to the report. And he says that the next chairman of your party must come from the southeast, in fairness. And he appealed directly to President Tinubu to see to that, so that people from the southeast can have a sense of belonging in the APC, even if they might not have voted for, the APC president in the last general elections. Do you share that view too? What do you think?
Thank you. Let me start by, I'm happy you are very much abreast with the powers of the president in a presidential system, especially in Nigeria. If President Buhari had backed Senator Ahmed Lawan, for God's sake, on June 4th, the northern extraction of the APC governors met and wrote a letter to Mr. President that we are going south. The next day, Mr. President called them a meeting. They said, sir, give us your own nomination. He said, please go and file 5 names. That night, I had the opportunity to meet Mr. President. And in the discussion, Mr. President said that it would be wrong if he says he's a Democrat convert and he goes on consensus. That you people are going to Eagle Square, whoever wins. He met with the governor 3 times between June 4th and June 8th. If he had mentioned Senator Ahmed to them, he could have split the governor's rank, especially the APC governors of the North. That didn't happen. So please, Buhari do not do anything surreptitiously. If you want to hit, he will tell you, Ruby Abati, you are my candidate, and he will announce you. A lot of people came telling us that they get their own commitment, they are the anointed, but the man insisted. The last he told me was that Malam Adamu was here Osita, and he joined him in this position that the Eagle Square election should be free and fair, whoever that prevails. Adamu is still alive. Mr. President could have had the authority to mention it to the various caucuses he met before June 8th. So let nobody come and say what Adamu said. I'm not trying to be an apostle of Adamu or whoever, but I know the president knows his enormous powers to insist. The day he brought Oshimole, didn't people step down? The day they told my friend Adebe Oshitu to step down for Omishore, did he step down? So, Mr. President never discussed or told any caucus that this is my candidate in the whole stretch of the presidential primaries. I would like to be contradicted.
Well, Osita Chidoka's intervention in the politics of the chairmanship of the APC.
No, you can understand my brother Chidi Okechukwu. They leveraged on a very mundane premise that with Atiku from the north, the whole north, they will mobilize them from their dormitory and they will vote for Atiku. He will win 2 southern candidates. If he wanted to achieve what he's saying, he could have insisted with the weekend masquerade that Atiku should not be presidential candidate because it's the turn of the southeast. Because the southeast, Ekweme was the founder of the PDP, or one of the foremost founders, was geared to win Chief Obasanjo at the presidential election. They rented all the hotels in Jos, and the primaries were postponed for 2 days. And they gave Obasanjo. The Igbo still voted Obasanjo. When we came, Buhari does not like the Igbos. He didn't like the Igbos. He nominated the late Right Honorable Chubo Kadibo as his vice presidential candidate. And we turned all the the Southeast states and visited Igbos across the length and breadth of the country. I would told them, join this alliance. It's similar to the Zikis alliance. Chidi Okechukwu never did. With the demise of Chubokadibo, Buhari again nominated Right Honorable Edwin Umezuke in 2007. We went around again, told them, give Buhari a vote. He's going to be president, whether you like him or hate him. Where was Chidi Okechukwu and his co? So let them allow Tinubu. All I plead with Tinubu is the infrastructure in the Southeast. Even if he likes, let him not appoint anybody there. But let him give us infrastructure. These are industrial and entrepreneurial people. Let him provide security for us there. That's what I'm pleading with. Leave Chidi Okechukwu. When he wakes up from Atiku Abubakar's bed, he will now come to dictate the tune for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Tinubu has satisfied some of us that he made sure that power goes south. That does not mean if an Igbo had won like Obi that I wouldn't be happy, but at least he made a threshold for some of us. What we are advocating was that we took off in 1999 with a rotation convention. That power comes to the south, it goes back to the north to give a sense of belonging, fairness, and good conscience. So Tinubu has qualified along that line. If anybody now wants to tell Tinubu where to lay his bed, I understand as well that even in the Southwest, some people are complaining, but it's natural. So please, my brother Chidi Okechukwu should go and wake up with Atiku Abubakar first before he comes to terms that the Igbos are being denied.
Well, an interesting statement you make, Mr. Okechukwu, with regards to the fact that, I mean, just to clarify, you say that whether it was President Tinubu who won or Mr. Peter Obi, you wouldn't have minded in terms of the APC, in terms of the Southeast or the South emerging as president. It's just to clarify, because you mentioned that. I'm not sure if your party would be happy to hear that. Then beyond that, you also say that you're not really concerned about appointments going to the Southeast, just more about infrastructure, developments. Let me dig into that a little bit. What kind of interventions are you looking from the president? If you're saying that it doesn't really have to be in the way of appointments, what specific things are you looking forward to the president doing for the Southeast?
Let me start locally. The then President Obasanjo and President Buhari had done, for instance, the Western Corridor rail line, standardized for a greater extent. There's no track in the Eastern Corridor going from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri on the standard gauge rail line. One. Secondly, I think that the insecurity in the Southeast can be halted by the federal government of Nigeria. I plead with Mr. President to do so. There's erosion. There's a epileptic power supply, which you might say is nationwide, but is needed in such a region where there are manufacturers. There is a need for a deep sea port in that corridor. We don't need to park Lagos and every day is a trailer falling over each other. No. So there's a lot to be done. For those who want the appointment, please, Mr. President is at their discretion. Section 5 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic gives Mr. President the powers to invest powers of the executive on him and for him to delegate to whomsoever he wants. I don't want to go into that. On the issue of rotational convention, I said that is the first demand of some of us, that after 8 years of the northern region of the country, let it go to the southern region. And that's our first benchmark. Whether your preference is your brother or your sister becomes secondary. But I'm saying that Tinubu had meeting that benchmark, because if you had allowed my brother Chidi Okechukwu and others, the power could have remained in the north. Not that they would do anything wrong to the South. Otherwise, even the Southwest benefited more from Buhari's regime than some of the sections of the North. But there is a sense of belonging. Yesterday, it was the resource control cap. Day before yesterday, resource control back. Yesterday, the allergy cap. Today, you are bending your heart because you have gone Southwest. It's psychological. It gives a sense of belonging and makes you feel that anybody can become president. So that is all I'm saying. It's not about anything is not done on substance. Some are symbolic.
Okay. I want to go back and revisit the Adamu debacle and what he said. You said something now, and I'd like to challenge that notion. Now, you said there was never a time President Muhammadu Buhari, did not, make his feelings known as regards the emergence of Lawan or the attempt to make Lawan the presidential candidate of the party. Hear this. Authoritative sources said that, do you think I am mad to make such an announcement without Mr. President's consent? And that was what Adamu did say. So he couldn't have made that announcement without the consent of the president. But now you are trying to exonerate the president from all of that process. Prior to the time when the campaign started, Ahmed Lawan's name was not put in the ring. All of a sudden, it got in the ring. And quoting him, do you think I am mad to make such an announcement without President Buhari's consent? I want you to react to that. Secondly, you're talking about the things for the Southeast. I want you to tell us, what would you like the president to do concerning Nnamdi Kanu's matter? President Tinubu. 2 questions, sir.
Let me say that I don't want to swear on Senator Adamu's statement, but I'm a pragmatic person. Even some of the meetings I'm not present. Sometimes we are loitering around that villa. President Buhari, if he wanted Ahmed Lawan to be president, the greatest caucus in the APC or PDP is the Governors Forum. It couldn't have been the organ of the party that he would detail Adamu to go and say. He would have I told you, remember that letter of June 4th by the Northern Governors Forum of the APC, headed by His Excellency Abubakar Bagudu Atiku. They wrote that letter succinctly that we are qualified to contest for president. But for the interest of unity, equity, and fairness, we prefer that a candidate from the South emerges. And they held the meeting up to 3 times with other caucuses. If President Buhari had wanted, on pragmatic level, when Abdullah Adamu was made chairman, it was the caucus in the villa that President Buhari told, let's vote for him, let him be chairman. So it was not done by the organ of the party. The organ of the party, he can take excuses. I can understand. Age also is not on his side. So he can take excuses that he couldn't have done that without Mr. President. They didn't even see Garba Shehu or Femi Adesina reply him. They allowed him because they know he was talking nonsense. That if President Buhari wanted a candidate, he had enough caucuses, number 1 of which is the Governors Forum of the APC. If he had told the Governors Forum of the APC that Lawan, Obondiono, Amechi, Emeka Wajubao, Ababio, all those who lined up out of the 23, or even his vice president, half of them could have gone with him. So let nobody say what Abdullah Adamu said. He cannot be taken to the bank. Thank you.
Okay, as regards to Nnamdi Kanu, as I asked, what would you want President Buhari, Tinubu to do as regards the Nnamdi Kanu situation?
Yes, for the interest of our people, if he releases him, that would be good. But that does not justify all that Nnamdi Kanu did. But if he releases him for the interest of those who did not participate in what Nnamdi Kanu is doing, or what he said while he was abroad enjoying himself, that Nigeria is a zoo, this and that, they will let us take it as a young person's outburst. And because of the peace in the region, that he should release him and get our people to bail him. If he does that, that would be good. It will return peace to the land because the place is ravaged and they're almost dying. And so I will appeal to him in league with the leadership of the Igbo nation, led by Chief Emmanuel Iwayao, to appeal to him. It's an appeal. It's an appeal.
Well, just as we begin to wrap up, let me ask you. Yesterday, the acting chairman of the party says, very soon, in the foreseeable future, there will be the date of the next caucus meeting or NEC meeting will be communicated. Do you have any information as to how soon that will be? Because you know that this NEC and caucus meeting has been postponed twice. First, it was supposed to be on 10th and 11th of July. But we were told because the president was away in Guinea-Bissau, it was shifted to 18th and 19th. And now here we are with the latest development. The new acting chairman says, another date will be chosen soon. Part of the issue under Senator Adamu was that he was not calling meetings. He was accused by the Deputy National Chairman, Northwest, and others of running a one-man show. Do you have any information as to how soon the party will call another meeting so that some of these issues can be considered? Or it's just up in the air? Nobody may call any meeting for the next 1 year, perhaps.
Instead of looking at information, rather, what I will advise our leadership is to look into the constitution of the APC. This constitution has given conditions for how the party could be revived for the next battles, and how the party can give the best to the country, and how the party can elect. Under Section 20, Article 20 is very vivid, that anybody who wants to head any organ of the party must be democratically elected. Please, let us stop this idea of, I like Osita Okechukwu, let him be chairman of the party. No. We have thousands of membership, if not millions. Please, let them be subjected to use the position of the party, of the constitution of the party, to elect whoever they want to be ward chairman, to be local government chairman, to be party chairman of a state, and to be national chairman. Today in Enugu State, the APC got only 4,722 votes because the party is in disarray. They went to PDP, brought my brother Ugochukwu Agbala and hoisted on us. And he brought his own crisis and discontent. Could the party, the constitution wants? He says that anytime you want to do consensus and it's not democratic, it brings crisis and discontent. Let's wipe up the discontent by using this constitution. This is the guiding principle of managing the party. Not when you like, you bring Osita Okechukwu to be chairman. No, it doesn't help us. Thank you.
Mr. Osita Okechukwu, APC chieftain, thank you for your time this morning.